Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is all about the brand new Razer Phone 2. I'm doing a review for you guys, sharing with you guys the things that I like and the things that I did not like about this gaming phone that has so many unique features. But the most unique of all is the fact that it has 120 frames per second refresh rate. No other gaming phone on the market even claimed that. So let's not waste any time. Let's talk about the Razer Phone 2. This is TK and this is XDATV. And here we have the brand new Razer Phone 2. You'll notice the first difference obviously in aesthetics is that we now have a glass back supporting wireless charging in the back, as well as the fact that we actually can customize the RGB logo built in. Now I'm putting it on green, obviously since this is Razer green, but you can customize it to you actually have almost a spectrum color or even just have it as a static color the way I have it. We have two sensors in the back, a telephoto and a standard focal length, both 12 megapixels with a dual tone LED flash. And we do have some upgraded optics from last year, and we'll talk a little bit more about the camera as we get there. Looking on the right side, we still have the fingerprint sensor as well as the power button sitting on top of each other, and the fingerprint sensor is really fast. It's very nice, and the position is very good. As soon as you hold the phone, your fingers, or at least your thumb, is sitting in the right spot. On the left side, we have a volume rocker, a SIM card and an SD card slot in one, supporting the expandable storage functionality over the 64 gigs of built-in storage in here. Of course, this will support now officially Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T. So for the most part, this is very much compatible with all carriers in the US. On the top, we have pretty much a clean slate with one microphone. On the bottom, what we have here is a USB-C port that's supporting data, power, as well as audio using the dongle that's included in the box. I'll give you guys a link in the description below, of course, for a detailed unboxing and video and audio samples of this device. But the short answer is that 24-bit DAC will sound really good, but that's not actually the best sound that comes out of this device. When you switch it to the front, you're greeted with not only one, but dual front-facing very loud speakers that will give you the really good gaming experience. A 5.72 Quad HD display. This is an IPS display that is capable of going up to 120 frames per second. That's actual refresh rate on the display as you're playing games, you're using your UI, or even just basically doing normal activities. And the main benefit of that is that just basically makes it for a very smooth, very nice, and very good experience using the Razer Phone 2. Now, we have an 8 megapixel front-facing sensor, and of course, this still runs basically the latest and greatest. So we have 8 gigs of RAM, the Snapdragon 845, running basically the best chipset that we have in 2018. And of course, overall, the entire UI is running a very minimalistically customized version of Android. We're still running Android 8.1, hopefully getting Pie very soon, but the main benefit here is that it's basically running Nova Prime. That's one of my favorite features as well. This is one of the only phones that comes shipping out with Nova Prime, a very highly customizable launcher that not only supports gestures, but also supports functionalities as far as adding shortcuts, actions, and everything that you'd ever want to get, and basically uses the full functionality of a full display like this. As far as charging, we have a couple of fast charging options that we have here. We have a fast wireless charging supported here by the wireless charger that came out at the same time as the phone, and it of course supports RGB. The other option, of course, is using the brick that comes with it that supports Quick Charge 4.0 that provides us the ability of charging this 4000 milliamp battery very, very quickly. Looking over the actual device itself, as I mentioned to you guys, we have a 120 frames per second refresh rate. You'll notice right there, there's a little counter that right there. I turned it on to the developer options. This will enable me to be able to basically see how is the refresh rate going on the display. What is it using? Is it actually using 120 frames per second when I'm using my phone? And the reason behind that is you want to be able to basically see the proof in the pudding, so to speak. So overall, this actually will work whenever you're using your UI, whenever you're just scrolling through your applications, and you can actually see the buttery smooth frame rate. And again, once you see it, it's hard to translate it on a camera that's only going up to 60 frames per second, and this is running at 120. So just keep that in mind as a point of reference. Now, overall, as far as the actual UI, we have theme support using the theme store directly from Razer. You can actually look at features, search, install, and they're all free. Very, very nice. And of course, you can go through your library or even search for some. We do have Cortex support, of course, for gaming. They have a featured library, of course, as well as built-in library you can install and update your games. And they also have a curated list for 120 frames per second games that are basically supported at this point. Of course, you can go through and install them. You'll have Gear Club and Unkilled, of course, that I have already installed here. But you can, of course, download an additional other one like Shadowgun Legends and, of course, the racing games and all of those things that you'd love to be able to play. The last but not least is, of course, the Cortex Game Booster. This is the ability of going in there and customizing the profile. You can go performance, power saver, or custom, and you can turn on the actual settings as far as not even just the display, brightness, but also the frame rate, how each game will be basically supported. So as you guys see right here, I have Unkilled, PUBG, Legends, Gear Club, Fortnite of course, and then Dragon Ball Legends. Those are the games I've been playing on this phone, and of course just runs beautifully. The Snapdragon 845 is basically the best that we can get out of 2018, and it performs quite well. And the last thing we're going to talk to you guys is how to be able to customize this logo on the back, as well as also other options. And this is by using the Chroma application. So right now I don't have anything else plugged into it, so it basically gives me the option to using basically the Razer phone only. By default, you have the ability of customizing between 3 different options: breathing, static, and spectrum. Of course, you can also turn on notifications. And what this means is that if you get a notification, let's say from Facebook, you're going to get a blue color. If you get a notification from Snapchat, it's going to come out yellow. And of course, WhatsApp will go green. And this is customizable based on notifications. So it's really functional. So if you ever like to basically just put your phone off and keep it off and then just put it on the table, and you want to basically, when you hear a notification, you can just look at the logo and see what is the notification and if you should pay attention to it or not. Now, when it comes to the camera, of course, we definitely have an updated UI from what we had last year. This is a dual sensor in the back, so if I click on it once, it'll open up the telephoto lens, and if I click on it again, it'll take me back to the standard focal length. We have the ability of going in here. We have, let's go back real quick. So we can swipe in. We have panorama, we have beauty, portrait, photo, and video. Front-facing camera is capped at 1080p as far as video, but as far as pictures, as I mentioned, we have the 12.2 megapixel sensor in the back, and on the front, the 8 megapixel sensor. Very nice. So gaming on this is obviously going to be really good. And as you saw with the counter, you can actually see live how many frames per second the game is actually able to pump out. Overall, just running the UI, everything else will run very, very smoothly. Everything will run really good. The camera performance on this has actually kind of gotten better from the original version of the Razer phone. Although I would still say that we still need some more improvements, and they can definitely do some improvements on this. We've seen some updates that have been pushed out specifically for the camera, and we were looking forward to seeing that 4K at 60 frames per second. Overall, when you buy a phone like this, you're not really buying it for the camera, but you are going to get actually a decent experience. Now I did install and definitely try out the camera. This is the Google camera, and I noticed that the performance on the camera did actually improve. So you're definitely able to improve the quality of the picture on this. Here is a picture of my son. I took a picture of it with and without the camera. This is with the standard camera. And here is another picture as far as just the night side. You could see the details and of course just a much better experience. Just so that you can hear how well this device sounds, especially with a device that has speakers facing you directly. Here we go into Jumbo. This is a Jumbo by Alex Squindo by an NCS release. So as you saw right there, I was showing you guys while the music was playing. This does support Dolby Music support, and then by default, I have it set up to music right now. But again, this is going to be the best sounding experience on a gaming phone that you can get. Front-facing speakers, IPS display, 120 frames per second, great for gaming, multitasking, daily activities. The refresh rate is just tremendous. The customization options are amazing. This is just pretty much a gamer/music enthusiast phone for 2018 going into 2019. So what do I think about the Razer Phone 2 in 2018 going into 2019? I think this is actually a phone that's made by a company that knows gamers. There's a few companies out there that have gaming phones right now, but very few of them are actually gaming companies. This is actually answering a gamer's request that basically came out from the initial Razer phone. This is the second version, by the way. Obviously, they've already learned from the first version. We have customizable RGB. We still have a massive battery. We have water resistant on a gaming phone. We have great sound, great accessories, customizable RGB on the accessories. Again, very unique to this ecosystem. And of course, they're coming out with more and more things. And what I really like about this is the customization on the not only hardware, but the software. We have Nova Prime installed here. As you've probably known for many years, if you've watched my videos, I am a big proponent of Nova Prime. It's my favorite launcher, and I install it pretty much about 2 to 3 days after I get any brand new phone. Didn't have to do it here. That's really a cool factor for me. So At the end of the day, if you're getting this phone for the camera, it's a better camera than what we had last year, but this is truly a gaming phone first and is a gaming phone at it as basically as best as you can get a gaming phone in 2018. It answers all the things that you want. It gives you great sound, great pictures, great photos, a great display, a massive battery, and a lot of resources to be able to just do whatever you'd like on this device. Expandable storage is even here, so you can actually expand the storage of the 64 gigs that you have in there, and of course get all the stuff that you want on this guy. So let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about the Razer Phone 2? Are you as excited about this phone as I am? And of course, let me know if you would consider getting actually a gaming phone as your next device. This is TK. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel, check out my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.